about you guys as chefs get to do is you get to really talk with your salespeople and talk with your distributors about really getting the information that you want. And the reason for doing that, again, the more you know about a certain beer, the better decisions you can make in regards to recipes, serving, or kind of how to talk about it. Who's had our beer before? Has anybody brewed?
I've had your amber ale.
I think I've had every single Oakshire brew that you guys have. I might have missed one or two of the single barrels, but I lived in Eugene for a few years, and beer stein was my
fantastic.
port of origin.
Fantastic. So Oregon has 87 different tiny microbrews, and that includes brew pubs. It also includes production facilities. So, and just last year, craft beer just reached 9 billion barrels. Here in Oregon, the craft beer industry, and again, it's probably stuff that you guys know, but it consumes $2.3 billion every year. What you're trying right now is our amber ale. So this is the very first recipe that the brewery ever brewed, basically, and it's based upon a homebrew recipe. The reason that I serve the pistachios with that, only because I love how the saltiness of pistachios brings out the sweetness. In the amber, typically, this amber finishes really dry, has really high attenuation, which basically just means that the yeast take longer to fall out of solution after they leave the sugars. There's 5 hop varieties in there, and yes, Simcoe, Amarillo, Centennial, Cascade, and Nuggets. And those are, pardon me?
There are 5 and it comes in nuggets?
5, yeah. Our yeast comes from Y yeast labs, which is in Hood River, multi-celled organism. They get it from kind of all over. Water is McKinsey Watershed. Water's pretty local. You notice in the finish, it's very clean, very crisp, refreshing. The forward notes on it, you're going to get lots of grapefruit, citrus, a little bit of pine, and then hopefully you'll finish with almost a little bit of a resin. Cotswold, have you guys had this cheese before? So, Cotswold is the traditional English pub cheese, and it's a double Gloucester cheese, which is a pasteurized cow's milk cheese. It comes from southern England, and it has onions and chives added to it. One of the things I was hoping that you would get out of this is this really bold, big flavor of IPAs can be tempered. This is, I think, the fun thing about where industry is headed is that it's such a foodie world. And it's no longer is wine just the beverage of choice. Craft beer is really coming in strong, and it's coming that way across the country. You find it not just in our little microcosm here in the Northwest, but all across the country. So how you find out about events through Oakshire is on our blog, and I included that on the sheet that I gave you guys. It's oakbrew.com. We're a really tiny production facility. Our first year we started out doing 6 barrels. The second year we went to 180 barrels. As we grow, our equipment changes, and one of the most unique things about the beer industry is that beer has to be consistent for people. It has to stay at the same price, and your recipes and everything changes as you upgrade your system. As you get bigger systems in place, the process is different. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we're going to find is not just to grow gracefully and grow well, but be able to keep the same high quality as we continue to grow in size.
Do you guys have any plans to implement any of the Belgian-style ales into your repertoire?
We already are. Yes, we do have Belgian-style beers in progress. Up to, thus far this year, we've done 3 single-batch Belgian-style beers. We did a farmhouse bit. We did a strong farmhouse ale that was brewed with chamomile, rose hips, really, really lovely. Came in at about 9.2%. This wonderful effervescent, really lovely beer. It was a saison style as well. So, and then there's more to come. And this is the crazy thing about beer world is as we get more of this European tradition infused with Northwest flavor, American ingenuity, what happens is you have a real, no longer a real clear delineation between what's a style. Could you guys imagine yourselves cooking with these beers?
I can see making like a salad dressing of sorts with a watershed. It's got a really like bright fruit pairing.
Steak sauce. Steak sauce? Steak sauce.
Use it in the sauce, reduce it down, add more to it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Probably since it's got that nice tonic into it, definitely using it for like almost like a dessert sauce.
So what happens if you walk into a bar, your favorite bar, and you don't see Oakshire? Yeah, you happen to think about it. If you like one of our beers, you don't see it somewhere, just ask. A lot of restaurant owners are being really receptive to that. People aren't going out as much, so they're much more willing to cater to what customers want, which is kind of cool. Okay, thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.